No new coronavirus restrictions are to be introduced in England before the new year, but the Health Secretary says people should remain cautious. In New York, fresh vaccine rules have come into force. Children aged 12 and over now have to be fully vaccinated to go into indoor restaurants or leisure facilities as infections surge, fuelled by the Omicron variant. Tributes are being paid from across the globe to the anti-apartheid campaigner Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who's died at the age of 90. A state funeral will be held on the 1st of January in Cape Town. And there are calls for the British government to do more to help consumers deal with sharp increases in the price of gas and electricity, amid warnings that energy bills could soar by another 50% next year.
More than 2,000 flight cancellations upended U.S. holiday travel this weekend. The disruptions hit a number of U.S. airlines as employee absences amid the spread of the Omicron COVID-19 variant caught the carriers off guard, leaving them short-staffed to operate busy schedules. U.S. shoppers spent at a brisk pace between November 1st and Christmas Eve as an early rush to stores, driven in part by supply chain concerns, helped offset the effects of the COVID-19 surge. U.S. retail sales rose 8.5% over the period compared with the prior year, according to MasterCard Spending Pulse. That's the strongest growth in 17 years. Meanwhile, a trip to the grocery store is set to get more expensive next year as labor, transportation, and ingredient costs keep rising. Food prices are estimated to increase by 5% in the first half of 2022, according to research firm IRI, though the level of increases will vary by grocers and regions. And South Africans on Sunday mourned the death of Desmond Tutu. The Anglican Archbishop led a global campaign to end the country's racist policies under apartheid. Tutu died in a Cape Town care home more than 2 decades after being diagnosed with cancer. He was 90 years old. Markets in Asia ended mixed and European shares wavered in thin trading as UK markets were closed for a holiday.
We begin here in Japan, where cases of the Omicron coronavirus variant have expanded nationwide. A 6th prefecture has now reported community transmission of the strain. The latest case of community-acquired Omicron infection was confirmed Monday in Hiroshima. Officials say the infected person had not traveled overseas, and the source of transmission is not known. The person has only developed minor symptoms. Community transmission of Omicron has also been reported in Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, Aichi, and Fukuoka prefectures. Meanwhile, there's fresh laboratory data on the efficacy of coronavirus vaccines. A Japanese research team used cultured cells to examine the effectiveness of antibodies against the Omicron variant in people who've received 2 doses. The neutralizing antibody levels in 6 people who had the Pfizer vaccine 3 months earlier were an average of 72% lower against Omicron compared to the Delta variant. In 6 people who had the Moderna vaccine 3 months earlier, neutralizing antibody levels fell on average by 82%.
The data does not mean that the vaccine's efficacy has waned completely. It just shows that its ability to protect against infection has become weaker. It's extremely important for people to continue masking up and taking other infection mitigation measures.
Many people in Japan will be traveling during the New Year holiday period, adding to concern about the spread of infections nationwide. 214 new coronavirus cases were confirmed across the nation on Monday. 44 people are in serious condition. South Korea's presidential candidate from the ruling party says he wants to improve his country's strained political relationship with Japan. The Democratic Party's Lee Jae-myung is known for being critical of the Japanese government. Lee met Japan's ambassador Monday in Seoul. He made doubtful remarks about Japan recently, questioning if it's a trustworthy state. But after this meeting, he struck a friendlier tone.
Our countries are often said to be near yet far, but I want them to be both geographically and psychologically close.
He also called for the neighbors to acknowledge and understand historical facts and aim for future-oriented cooperation. Democratic Party officials say the closed-door meeting did not focus on disputes between the countries, such as wartime labor. The presidential candidate for the main opposition People Power Party also met the ambassador last month. Yoon Suk-yeol expressed hope for improved ties with Japan as well. South Korea's presidential election is scheduled for March. Turning now to tensions at Russia's border with Ukraine. The Russian military says more than 10,000 troops are leaving the region and returning to their bases. It comes after they completed a month-long drill near the Ukraine border. Russian officials released a statement saying the military had finished conducting drills in a total of 10 regions. They included Rostov, which borders Ukraine, and Crimea, which Russia annexed 7 years ago. But the military said standby units would stay in place during the New Year holidays, and some aircraft and naval units will remain in the region. Western powers have been closely watching the Russia-Ukraine border. Officials said the Russian military had deployed more than 90,000 troops in the area. American and European leaders said Russia would face severe consequences if it attacked Ukraine. It remains unclear if Russia's announcement constitutes a withdrawal of troops, which could help ease tensions. Japan's Prime Minister Kishida Fumio says he's considering addressing an upcoming conference on the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty by video. The conference is set to start in New York on January 4th. Kishida pointed out to reporters the Omicron variant has been spreading fast over there.
More than half of the participating countries are switching to video speeches. Our country is also considering how to take part, including the possibility of a video address.
Kishida said he'll keep studying what format Japan should adopt based on the overall situation surrounding the conference. He noted the talks will last through late January and stressed the need to keep making efforts until an agreement is reached. Kishida had considered attending the conference in person. That would have made him the first Japanese prime minister to do so. A massive dump of snow is hitting the Sea of Japan coast, freezing travel. Japanese weather officials are urging people in some regions to stay home. The Japan Meteorological Agency says the persistent influx of cold air is at a level not seen in several years. Some areas in western Japan are experiencing record amounts of snow for a 24-hour period. Officials warn the snow is expected to gradually move east and continue falling on Tuesday. The winter weather has caused traffic headaches. A truck driver lost control on a major road in Shiga Prefecture, causing a traffic jam more than 2 kilometers long. Traffic started flowing again in the area at about 5 p.m. on Monday. Now, the snow has caused 80 flights to be canceled. Passengers on the Tokaido and Sanyo Shinkansen bullet trains have also faced delays. The snow has caused blackouts in some parts of western Japan. Weather officials are warning of potential avalanches. Switching gears now to sports, Japanese figure skating star Hanyu Yuzuru has expressed his determination to win a third consecutive Olympic gold at the upcoming Beijing Games. Hanyu secured a slot for the Olympics after winning the men's singles competition at the national championships on Sunday. He spoke to reporters about his goal for the Games, which start in just over a month.
I have the feeling that the fans and supporters must have wanted me to qualify for the Beijing Olympics and win there. I felt that it was the dawn of a new journey.
The two-time Olympic gold medalist tried unsuccessfully to become the first skater in the world to perform a quadruple axel in Sunday's free skate program. He said completing the jump will be key for him to win a third straight Olympic title.
I'm still trying to master the jump. I think I can win in Beijing if I can incorporate it in my free skating program without changing other elements. Doing so is a must in order to defend my title.